cruise news time, and wow, drama already on the Dawn. A lady super hacked off yesterday that she was forced to wear a mask. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know that everybody realizes, but masks are still required if you're cruising out of U.S. cruise ports. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. First and foremost, welcome to Monday, welcome to the show. I am on the Norwegian Dawn on a 7-night cruise to the Western Caribbean, going to Costa Maya and Cozumel, going to Harvest Key, and also going to Roatan, Honduras. And the cruise has been going fairly well. There was I'm going to tell you about it, a little hiccup at the embarkation, and then this lady was upset on the elevator, forced to wear a mask. And that is the news. If you're cruising out of a U.S. cruise port right now, you will be required to wear a mask at embarkation inside the cruise terminal, and you'll also be required to wear a mask at disembarkation in the cruise terminal. That has not gone away. It's just shocking to me that people don't know that. So I was in the elevator, the lady was there, and there was somebody in their party that was still wearing their mask. And they're like, when do I get to take this mask off? And the upset lady was like, well, you could take the mask off right now. And the lady was like, well, nobody told me. I didn't even know we had to wear a mask. Do we have masks for when we leave? And the lady was like, look, if I knew I had to wear a mask, I would just not have come on this cruise at all. So I don't know how long she spent in the embarkation terminal, but it was long enough, and wearing a mask long enough that she was not happy about it. And look, to be honest, the masking may not just be limited to the embarkation and the disembarkation terminal. Depending what's happening on the cruise ship, you may be asked to mask up again. There's been a recent scenario on the Ruby Princess where they had their case count elevated, where they asked the passengers to start wearing masks inside. And so again, if you're cruising right now and you're mask adverse, you're not out of the woods yet. Just make sure that you know when you go cruising there is scenarios, embarkation, debarkation, and potentially on the cruise ship where you have to wear a mask. If that is untenable, if that's something that you don't want to do, you might want to hold off on cruising right now. And look, that wasn't the only interesting encounter in my first few hours of the cruise. I ran smack into a bottleneck at the embarkation process as soon as I got out of the car. I got out of the car, I got in line, I was trying to enter the cruise terminal, and I had a 10-minute wait for really what isn't a great reason. I had to wait extra time because people were not ready with their paperwork. I know I've said this a ton. To get into most cruise terminals right now, to get into most embarkation ports, in Florida at least, that's where I've cruised out of primarily, you have to show your proof of vaccination and you have to show your negative COVID test. This is why I advocate printing out that COVID test and having the piece of paper. I stood in line for 10 minutes while a lady worked on her phone trying to come up with the QR code for her negative COVID test. Of course, it's like the supermarket. I always pick the wrong line. The line next to me, I think 1,400 people went through that line while I waited for the people to find their barcode, and they never found it. So after 10 minutes, they finally pulled the people out of the line, and then our line opened up and everything was fine. Again, 10 minutes, not a major inconvenience, but if you have to wait 10 extra minutes everywhere for people to figure out their paperwork, it's a little bit distracting. Look, I'm not insensitive to the fact that people probably haven't traveled much since the restart. I'm not insensitive to the fact that people don't know the ins and outs of this. So I lay it out there as something maybe we can do as the community. If you are a cruiser and you know people that are going on a cruise that have not cruised since the cruise restart, turn them on to a video that talks about the protocols, or tell them when you go to the terminal, make sure you have your paperwork ready to go. The way that's worked really well for us as we've been cruising is we just take our passport, we put our vaccine card in our passport, and then we print out our test result and we fold that up and we put that in with the passport and the vaccine card. Those are the things they're going to ask for first. Out of everything else that you're trying to manage, those three things you're going to have to show almost immediately when you get to the cruise terminal, and have that in your hand. Have everything else packed up and have that in your hand, and that way you can go right through the line and maybe not slow anybody else up. That's part of traveling. Like, being delayed is being part of traveling, but it is annoying when you're delayed for not good reasons, I would say. And if those two examples weren't enough, I have one more example. I met a guy on a cruise ship that told me an interesting story about people being hacked off for not knowing the protocols. I'm going to tell you all about it, but first, let me quickly invite you to subscribe if you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising. Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Look, we're trying to get to 18 million subscribers. We're getting close. We're at 161,000 subscribers. But look, you can't get to the peak of the mountain without starting at the base of the mountain. Am I right? Does any mountain climbers out there, or is that just, do you have to be a mountain climber to know that you don't start at the... I don't know what I'm talking about. I was just trying to talk louder than the Frappuccino machine. The small cruise ship, look, here's one wall of the cruise ship. That's one side of the cruise ship. And basically, that's the other side of the cruise ship. I'm exaggerating. There's cabins outside this wall and cabins outside that wall, but I can almost stretch out and reach both sides. I can't wait to talk to you guys about big ship, small ship. Okay, I got to tell you about these international travelers that none too happy with what happened. I met a gentleman on the cruise ship, Chris from Canada. Shout out to Chris from Canada. He told me a scenario of people that were traveling from Canada to the US that were very familiar with the requirements to return to Canada, but super unfamiliar with the requirements to get into the US, which required a test to get into the US. Now, they did not come with a test to get in the US, and so they had to rebook their flights, cost them thousands of dollars, and they were hacked off that they did not know about these protocols, when at the end of the day, it was kind of up to them to know about the protocol. So I share these things really as a cautionary tale. We're still in a time when it comes to travel and cruising where you really have to know what's going on. There's protocols changing right and left, and you know, like, we get asked a lot, what's this protocol, what's that protocol? At the end of the day, I'm not going to know all of the protocols, and so I'll share with you what I know, but you got to check what I say, and then you also have to check for yourself. If you're traveling right now, if you're laying thousands of dollars on the line, if you're laying your time on the line, make sure you know what you're doing, and make sure you know what you need, so you don't have extra expense, so you don't have delay, and so that your travel is not interrupted. That's the public service announcement. That's the cautionary tale. Boom, that's your cruise news. Time for you to sound off. Have you had any of these experiences where cruising right now wasn't exactly what you thought it would be? I would love to hear that story. Leave a comment below. Thanks so much for checking out the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed it. You can show your support for the show by hitting the like button. And look, if you don't hit the like button, I'll be forced to punish you. And your punishment for today is, sadly, the only place you'll have to wear a mask on your cruise ship is in your cabin. How about that? We're going to flip the script. Masked nowhere except the cabin if you don't hit the like button. You can easily avoid that. Hit the like button. This is Tony for Lido Loca. It's Tony for Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.